Yellowstone already told you what Beth and Rip's spinoff will be about. Yellowstone Season 5 is coming to a head, but it's officially not the end of the Dutton story now that Yellowstone has confirmed a new spinoff centering Beth Dutton, Kelly Riley, and Rip Wheeler, Colhauser. It's been a brutal fight for Beth and her brother Case, Luke Grimes, to save their family's ranch since Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2's premiere. The sixth-generation Dutton siblings have been navigating the fallout of their father, John Dutton's, Kevin Costner, death while trying to save the Yellowstone Ranch. It isn't an easy feat since Montana's inheritance tax has paralyzed them from continuing life on the ranch as usual. Heading into the Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2 finale, the fate of the Duttons' ranch is uncertain. Case has largely prioritized protecting his son, Tate, Brecken Merrill, and his wife, Monica Long, Kelsey Asbell, rather than trying to save his family's heirloom ranch. Meanwhile, Beth held an auction in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 13, which raised $30 million to pay the mortgage covering the Duttons' extensive tax bill. While Yellowstone Season 5 finale could have anything in store for the characters, we can at least breathe a sigh of relief that Beth and Rip will live another day with their own spin-off story on the horizon. Heading into Yellowstone Season 5's final moments, a report from Deadline confirmed a new Yellowstone spin-off starring Beth and Rip. It's an exciting development as fans prepare to close a massive chapter of the Dutton story, with Yellowstone Season 5 finale leaving the franchise's fate uncertain. Ahead of Yellowstone Season 5 ending, fans noted that it was being marketed as the season finale rather than the series finale. It's an essential distinction since Yellowstone's direction after Season 5 is unclear. At least the announcement of Beth and Rip's spinoff gives us some idea of where the Dutton story is heading. Deadline's report contained some exciting details about the newest Yellowstone series. Beth and Rip's Yellowstone offshoot promises that Reilly and Hauser will return to their roles. And the report suggests that the spinoff will probably feature other familiar faces from the Yellowstone Season 5 cast. If not tied up for a potential Yellowstone Season 6, Beth and Rip's story could include Case and Monica, but that depends on the Season 5 finale. While other franchise spin-offs exist, Beth and Rip's story will reportedly be the first to include Yellowstone in its title, unmistakably tying it to the original. Based on Season 5 details, we can further deduce what Beth and Rip's Yellowstone offshoot will entail. Before Kevin Costner's fate as John Dutton Ailai in Yellowstone, some of the cowboys from the Dutton Ranch headed to the Lone Star State after brucellosis threatened to kill the Yellowstone Ranch's cattle. While Rip manages the cowboys, Beth travels to Texas to visit her husband, surprising him at the 4-6's ranch with a getaway that entails 2 nights in a suite at a local hotel. It's impossible to ignore how perfectly placed the couple is in Texas during their time there. Beth quickly notices that Texas doesn't have the same tourist crowd as her home state. There's an appreciation for ranching and the work the Dutton family does, which Beth notes. However, Beth and Rip discuss the limits of their future, with a mutual understanding that their responsibility to the Yellowstone Ranch and John Dutton's legacy tethers them to Montana. Thus, Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 10, previews Rip and Beth's ending if John didn't die. Considering things have changed and the Dutton siblings may give the ranch away instead of protecting it, Beth and Rip's Texas story can continue. Putting Beth and Rip at the helm of Yellowstone's latest spinoff is the perfect move. Reilly and Hauser have what it takes to lead the next chapter. Beth and Rip are fan-favorite characters within the Yellowstone story, and their heart-wrenching romance has been one of the strongest elements, especially as series creator Taylor Sheridan revealed its depth. One of the hardest pills to swallow about the possibility of Yellowstone concluding after Season 5 was that we wouldn't see Beth and Rip's stories continue. The Lovebirds have the most untapped story potential, especially considering their extensive history. It looked like Yellowstone set up Season 6 with Beth and Rip's stories, but a dedicated spin-off to focus on their lives is even better. Beth and Rip's spin-off story can build on the flashbacks to the characters' adolescence in Yellowstone. Flashbacks establish Beth and Rip's young love, including how several complications in their romance journey cause the pair to disconnect until later, when Beth returns to the ranch in Yellowstone Season 1. Their spin-off can divulge more about what Beth and Rip were up to all those years ago, developing their background while expanding their futures. Yellowstone has done an incredible job of intertwining complex characters, deep family dynamics, and epic landscapes. Yet within all the drama, romance, and action, one of the most popular relationships in the series has been the fiery and passionate romance between Beth Dutton and Rip Wheeler. As fans have clamored for a spin-off that would explore their love story in greater depth, we already have plenty of clues about what this show might look like. Because, quite simply, Yellowstone has already told us what Beth and Rip's spin-off will be about. The spin-off would undoubtedly explore the next chapter in Beth and Rip's tumultuous relationship, diving into the balance of power and loyalty in their world. But at its core, it would be about the complex intersection of love, loyalty, and survival. Beth Dutton, fiercely independent, cunning, and unyielding, is a force to be reckoned with. Her tough exterior, honed by years of navigating a family full of schemers, has been shaped by intense personal loss and betrayal. But underneath that exterior lies a woman who desperately wants a sense of home, something she's never really had. When Rip Wheeler, the calm, steady, and fiercely loyal ranch hand, entered her life, she found someone who was the perfect complement to her hard edge. Rip, in turn, found someone who could hold her own in a world he thought he knew inside and out. Their chemistry has been undeniable since the beginning of Yellowstone, and their spin-off would undoubtedly explore the depths of that relationship as they carve out a future of their own. One of the key components that would drive the narrative of their spin-off is the constant tension between Beth's desire for power and Rip's more grounded approach to life. While Beth's ambition and need for control often push her to manipulate and outmaneuver those around her, Rip is a man of simpler pleasures, a steady life with the woman he loves, building something that lasts. A central conflict would be Rip's commitment to Beth, balancing his duty to the ranch and his personal feelings. As their relationship deepens, their opposing outlooks on life would create both tension and passion, as they come to understand what it truly means to be family and partners in every sense of the word. Rip has always been protective of Beth, but he has also understood that she's not the type of woman who wants to be coddled or controlled. She's a woman who fights for what she wants, and Rip, for all his quiet strength, respects that. The spin-off would delve into the ways Rip continues to support Beth, even when her decisions threaten to drive them apart. There's also the ongoing challenge of Beth's complicated relationship with her father, John Dutton, and the land that binds them all. Would Rip and Beth eventually take on leadership roles within the Dutton Ranch? And if so, what kind of world would they be left to navigate? The power dynamics between father, daughter, and future husband would create the perfect tension-filled backdrop for the spinoff. Beth's personal trauma, specifically her heartbreaking abortion, has been a recurring theme throughout her character arc on Yellowstone. The spinoff would certainly need to explore the fallout from that decision, as well as the unresolved grief and pain that Beth carries with her. Rip has always known about the dark parts of Beth's past, but he's also shown a deep understanding of how those experiences shaped her into the woman she is. However, it's clear that Beth is still struggling with the weight of that decision, and a spin-off would allow for a deeper exploration of her emotional journey toward healing. Rip would, undoubtedly, be her pillar through it all, but their emotional journey would never be an easy one. The spin-off would also explore Beth's complicated role as a woman in a male-dominated world. While her ruthlessness is often lauded, she has also faced immense struggles because of her gender. The business world Beth navigates is filled with men who see her as a threat, but Beth is always 10 steps ahead. Rip, however, would be a constant reminder of her worth, someone who's always had her back without question, never trying to dim her light, but rather supporting her as she takes on whatever comes her way. Their spin-off would examine how this partnership becomes even more powerful as they learn to trust each other in new ways. Together, they become not just a romantic couple, but a dynamic duo capable of taking on any challenge the world throws at them.